up with the requested tutorials, and a lot of you have been asking for an updated foundation routine. So since it is officially summertime here, I am showing my everyday kind of natural summertime foundation routine. I stay fairly lightweight when it comes to the foundations, but you'll see what I use and stuff throughout the tutorial. And you know, I don't mind my freckles and stuff showing through, but obviously I still want to perfect the skin as much as I can while keeping it quite natural. And this is the kind of makeup I would go for on a day where I don't really have much on, but I want to wear a little bit of makeup. And yeah, so you'll see what I do anyhow throughout the tutorial, and just go to the blog and look below for the full list of products and stuff. So thanks guys. Okay, so what I've done thus far to my face is, after cleansing it with the light cleansing water, I applied some of my Marine Bright Formula Softening Lotion by MAC. I love this stuff. I basically kind of use it as a toner, but it does literally soften the skin. It kind of makes your skin absorb whatever products you put on top of it afterwards better. So I do really like to use that. I'm nearly out though, so I do need to replenish. And then of course, as it's summer, I have to use an SPF. So at the moment, if I'm outside like for any extended amount of time, or I'm going to be spending time in the sun, I will use a specific SPF cream, not a moisturiser with SPF in it, and probably a higher one. But since I won't get a chance to be out in the sun much today, and when I do get out it'll be evening time, I'm happy to use my Garnier Moisture Match moisturiser with an SPF of 20 in it. And this is a lovely base for foundation as well. I also put on my eye cream, which is this guy here by Roche-Posay. It's the Redermic C. So I put that on first, because when I put it on my this guy here, the one with the SPF, I do put that a little bit over where the eye cream is on the outside, because I tend to get discoloration here from sun. So I want to make sure that's protected. Then the trick is to leave that sit on the skin for as long as possible. You want your moisturiser and SPF to actually sink into the skin so it can do its job. Then I do like to absorb any excess, because you can see my skin is quite shiny. I think my actual skin in general is quite shiny because of like using retinol and like exfoliating so much and stuff like that. It's not over exfoliated by any means, it's just the kind of texture I've acquired kind of over the few years with my current skin care regime. So I do like to take down any unnecessary shine before I apply any products. So I use this, well, any sheet, but this is the Catrice mattifying papers. I like the Makeup Shop one as well, and the MAC ones. They're the ones I mainly use. But you do want to make sure that if you're using an SPF, you've left it on for ages, because you don't want the sheets to just be taken off the product you just put on. That's like a real necessity. So once that's done, I can apply some primer. So this is the guy I've been liking at the moment if there's a bit of sun out. It's the FaceFinity All Day Primer SPF 20, and this really does extend the wear of the primer or of your foundation. And then I'm also going to be using this new guy, well, new enough guy, but I've been really enjoying it. It's the Gosh Prime and Refresh Illuminating Eye Roll-On Primer. So basically it's a primer for underneath your eye. It just helps extend the wear of your concealer. It helps to stop creasing, and it does like subtly brighten. There's no colour to it, but there's brightening effect. So I just roll that on. It does have these wee balls for applying it, rather, you know, the little metal ones, but I do always need to go over it with my finger then to blend it in. So I've just patted that over where I know I'm going to be putting concealer. And then for my primer, what I do is apply it where needed. So I get an oily T-zone. That's where I need my primer. I don't need it everywhere else. And also that T-zone area is the area that tends to get most affected by any kind of sun damage, so particularly down the centre of my nose. So that's where I like to apply it. So I'm just going to use a small brush to apply that. You can use your fingers, of course. This is a Real Techniques setting brush. You can use this for liquid products or cream products, no bother though, because it is synthetic. So I'm literally, like I said, applying that on the T-zone, because this is going to reinforce this sunblock because it has the 20 in it, and it's also going to help stop my oil, or you know, any oils coming through in the face messing up the foundation later. So just down the centre of the face and then blend it out, but I don't bring it out to the very outskirts of my face because I don't need it there. And as I've mentioned with primers before, applying too much will do the exact opposite of what you want it to do. So definitely make sure you don't apply too much. You don't want too much sitting on top of the skin. You don't want to be able to feel like any of the residue. And then once that's on, you don't have to wait for your foundation application after primer. I mean, you could wait just a minute or two, but you don't have to wait like the 5-10 minutes like you would after a moisturiser. Then there are a few foundations I've been toggling at the moment, which I show in my favourites, which will probably be up before this. But the main ones that I've been using recently are the Catrice BB Cream Foundation, the Show Good Face by Soap and Glory, and then this guy here I've totally revisited and I'm re-loving, and it's the Face and Body by MAC. So I'm actually going to apply this one. So this one was really important for me to apply that primer because this is a really long lasting foundation. It is a film forming foundation, so it'll last on the skin. Even though it's actually kind of water resistant and sweat resistant and humidity resistant and all that, so it's really good for the warm weather, but it's not oil resistant, so I do need to protect my skin underneath. So I just put it out like this. Now what you could do is get it between the palms of your hands and then give it a good rub, and that actually thickens up the formula, and then you could apply it and it gets a thicker application that way. But I just want to apply it with my brush because I like to just do that, and then if I do need any extra coverage I'll just use a concealer. But I find if you kind of really buff it in with the brush anyhow, it kind of thickens a little bit on the skin. So I'm using the same Real Techniques brush again. And this is the kind of foundation that I will apply all over the face. It's not the kind of thing where I'd say just apply it where needed and then lightly buff it out, because it's such a light foundation anyhow. I do like to apply this underneath the eye as well. I think it just kind of gives an extra base for your concealer and makes it less likely to like settle into lines, because this will have formed that film underneath the concealer, so there's like a barrier there. So I'm really working that into the skin. And this is like probably like the most skin-like foundation out there because it's just so sheer. But it's the finish it gives rather than the coverage that I love. And because this is a film forming foundation, it also feels a little bit sticky on the skin before it sets in, but that's no bother. The Pro Longwear one by MAC does the same thing. And I just like to kind of tap over the nose area to blend that in. And then of course, because this is a body foundation as well, you can very comfortably bring it down on your neck without worrying about it transferring onto clothes, because this is budge proof. So, you know, like MAC artists would use it in fashion shows and at fashion weeks and stuff like that, because it doesn't transfer onto the designer's clothes. It doesn't get them in trouble. So then for extra coverage, like I just like this because I think it gives a nice finish to the skin and it evens out. And then for a bit more coverage, what I'm going to do is use a concealer. I'm going to use this guy here by Maybelline. It's the Instant Anti-Age, the Eraser Eye. So I'm just going to apply that to the centre and down the centre of the nose as well. So along the kind of central panel of my face. And you could use your brush or fingers, but I tend to use fingers most days. And apply some of that just above onto my lids as well. It helps to cancel out the redness. And I also bring some of that concealer over my chin and any areas of redness, because it's got enough yellow in it that it'll cancel them out as well. But what I will do, if I do have like an annoying blemish that is just like poking out at me, what I'll do is I'll go in with my Catrice Camouflage concealer, and I'll either use my finger or a brush and just, or kind of both, and help take down any like obvious marks. I'll also use that then as well underneath my brow. I have very thick hairs on my eyebrows, so when I do pluck I'm often left with red marks. Doesn't matter how careful I am, I nearly always get them. So this just helps to take that down as well. So that's pretty much enough coverage, I think, for like an everyday and more natural look. Like I said, I don't get bogged down in it being totally flawless, because that's not what I'm after. A setting powder I'm using a lot lately is this guy here. It's waterproof, so again it's really good for the warm weather. It helps resist humidity and, you know, if there is a bit of sweating or whatever. So I do concentrate that mainly on the nose area and where I get most oily, but I pop a little bit everywhere. It's not a very heavy or obvious powder, so I can wear it quite comfortably. And it does mattify it quite well as well, so it takes away any kind of obnoxious looking shine. Just to finish off, I would apply, I nearly always contour a little bit if I'm wearing makeup, and my kind of favourite one at the moment is this guy here from NYX. It came to Ireland just there like the beginning of this week, and I went out and I bought the Taupe Blush because it's like a cult blush product for pale skin, so I'm really enjoying it. I'll just pop that there. I won't worry too much about it being like really stark or anything like that, because like I said, it's quite natural. So I'll just do it lightly underneath my cheekbones, and even at that I'd often just go over with my face powder brush so that it's not too obvious. And then to finish off contouring, I nearly always do my nose as well. I just think it makes the biggest difference when I do contour my nose. And again, I'd usually go in with my face powder and brush and just help that settle back into the skin a bit so it's not so obvious. And that's pretty much my foundation routine. Of course, you can go ahead and do your blusher, your highlight, and whatever else you need doing. This is the basic routine though. And this is my typical kind of everyday, nothing fancy makeup look that I would go for if I wanted to wear a bit of makeup. Like I'd usually do the brows, throw on a bit of eyeliner, blusher, and like a light gloss or something on the lips. Not gloss, but like one of those lip crayons. So that's it. There will be a full list of products as usual below and on the blog. I'll put them in kind of order of how I apply them, and I'll let you know the rest of the bits that I used. But I hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks a million for watching, and I'll chat to you all really soon. Slán!